Poo's always hurt, right? That's all I wanted to say. You can go away now. No, I'm only joking, because that's just one of the aspects of having Crohn's disease. Uh, let's get into the others. You're constantly exhausted. I mean, just if you have a good day and you do things in that good day that require a lot of energy or a lot of mental exhaustion, that's pretty much you done for the next 2 or 3 days after that. Um, there's the other gross stuff, which I'm not sure you really want to hear about, but if you don't, skip ahead. If you do, I'll describe them for you now. There's blood loss. A lot of blood loss. Like, you think you're dying, blood loss. Then there's mucus. Oh, the mucus. Apparently, it can affect your vision, which I've started to notice. You can get macular degeneration from Crohn's disease. You don't absorb as many nutrients as you need to from food, like up to a third of it, or even sometimes two-thirds of it, can be lost. So, strange things start happening because of malnutrition, like you start shedding weight constantly, and there's very few ways you can stop it. You also start to lose hair, your nails go funny colors, your skin goes a funny color. It's totally disturbing. Sometimes your iron levels can plummet, and that means that you need to go on iron tablets, and you might even become what's that word? What's that thing where you don't have enough iron? What's that thing? Anemic. That's the one. And then there's other weird things that you don't necessarily hear about, like all of the going to the toilet for number two sometimes increases the need to go to toilet for number one, which is, whoa, that's exhausting. And chronic illness, any chronic illness really, comes with its own set of challenges when it comes to trying to get a decent night's sleep, because chronic sleep is a lot like normal sleep, only without the sleep part. Then there's the stabbing stomach pains. My God, the stomach pains. There was a time I was walking down the street with my wife, and the pain I felt shoot through my body was so intense that I nearly passed out, and I had to sit down and catch my breath for like 10 minutes. It was just ridiculous. It totally put a halt on everything we were planning on doing that day. There's a thing in the chronic illness community where you talk about how many spoons you have. So if you're low on spoons that day, that means you're very, very tired. And this comes from a lady in America who was with a friend in a diner, and she was trying to explain the level of exhaustion she felt on a daily basis because of her lupus. And she said she gathered all of the spoons from all the surrounding tables, gave them to her friend, and said, "Right, there you go. You now have lupus. Tell me about your day." And her friend was describing how she'd get up in the morning, how she'd make breakfast. And she went, "Right, okay, I'll have 5 of those spoons back, please." And her friend was going on about going into work and having meetings and doing various other things. And she said, "Yep, that's another 5 spoons." And eventually, about halfway through her day, this woman realized she'd run out of spoons. She couldn't do anything else because she didn't have any spoons to give for those activities like driving home, like making dinner, walking the dog, seeing the family, etc. So what do you do in those situations? Well, you've got to get your spoons back somehow. You've got to get energy recharged somehow. You've got to sleep. You've got to get protein in your system. You've got to take painkillers. You've got to do whatever you can to manage your spoonage. I mean, Crohn's disease, like any chronic illness, is it can be very, very limiting in what you do in your day. If anything, it makes you a very good planner because you realize that there is only so much you're going to be able to do in that day before your body just tells you no, and you have to stop and shut down and go back to doing whatever you're doing. I'm having one of those days today. More often than not, I have days like that. Fortunately, the variety of medications I'm on are actually starting to work, and the ways I've learned to manage my illness have started to work as well. So things like hot baths when I'm in extreme pain, those work a treat. I take various things to manage my illness outside of medication. One of them is a polyprobiotic. I won't name it because then you'll say it's an advert, but there are polyprobiotics you can take out there, and the ones that have billions upon billions of bacteria in them, those are the ones I recommend you take because a good like gut health is so important to your day-to-day management of your energy. Eating protein, another big way you can actually boost your energy levels. Minor exercise can sometimes be of a huge benefit to you, but don't overdo it because you might make yourself far more ill than you would be had you not done any exercise. I got a dog, and actually getting a pet can sometimes be a huge benefit as well, especially if you're on your own with a chronic illness. You won't believe how much wonder and joy will come into your life if you have a pet. And it also gives you a routine. You have something else to look after. So it means that you get out more and you do more things because of this pet. The biggest thing I can say is build up a network of support around you. So if you're struggling with certain aspects, don't be afraid to reach out to people and talk to them or ask for their help in just day-to-day activities that you can't manage by yourself. There's no shame in asking for help. There's also the aspect of mental health. Now, it's very important that you get whatever help you can because one of the other side effects of Crohn's disease is sometimes you can be left feeling less than worthwhile. You can feel like you're wasting your life or that you're not fulfilling your full potential. But the fact of the matter is, you're doing what you have to do to get through your day-to-day life as someone with a chronic illness. So if you have access to mental health help and people that can point you in the right direction, use every avenue available to you, and that includes medication. If you have to take medication for your mental health as well as your illness, I would absolutely recommend you do that. And also, reevaluate your life. If you're working 80 hours a week and you suddenly come down with Crohn's disease, there is absolutely no harm in looking at reducing your workload, in looking at reevaluating where your priorities are. A lot of people do this who don't have chronic illnesses, and if you have one, you are more than justified in doing it because believe me, the alternative, it's not worth it. So just slow down. Enjoy life a little bit more. Enjoy the things that you haven't had time to do in your life a bit more. And don't be afraid to talk. There are plenty of people out there on the internet who've got chronic illnesses, chronic disease, Crohn's disease, colitis, lupus, chronic fatigue syndrome. There are a myriad of illnesses out there that people can sympathize with and empathize with and also give you tips. I've learned an awful lot from other people with Crohn's disease. So please, stay strong, stay healthy, and just try and relax a little bit more because relaxing, oh boy, that is the best medicine.